One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor Gygax.
Thank you, Doctor. Leave it with me.
A letter for you.
Unbelievable. Kunz, with me.
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
Don't try to fool me, Becker. I saw your letter written by your own hand.
That name.
No one is allowed in or out.
Is it mine?
Professor Gygax's orders.
Nice try. What else did you recall? Silence won't help you. Fine.
I should resign, shouldn't
I'm
I?
not taking any chances.
This is all a bit much.
How about I cut open your brain again? Third time's a charm. Yeah?
Nothing special about this. An Edelweiss relief about 2 inches in diameter. This must be what Holmes was after. Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too small to be what Holmes asked for.
Professor Gygax says I can return home as soon as I'm better.
tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating. Only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often. The writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it. Looks as if it's been recently used. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full-grain leather straps. Impossible to escape. A very professional brain dissection. Oh, the smell. Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Dear God, is that body parts? Utterly inhuman.
Out of my head!
Your mind festers, devoid of soul. Find reverence for the one that trembled.
Lord!
Left your surrender your soul. I become a servant of madness.
Please! No more! Stop it! Watson! John! Somebody!
Wretched mortal, do not fear what is to come. Let him rupture our world anew. Awaken! And let the...
Awaken and... The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Get out of my head. A hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. Watson?
Holmes?
What are you still doing here?
Still? I was trying to find more information. Did you think I was just going to sit in my room twiddling my thumbs?
I only asked you to find the key. I had everything else under control.
Says the man who looks like he saw a ghost.
I'm fine, Watson.
You're hardly fine. You reek of congealed blood and chemicals. What did you see down there?
Never mind me. Where's Gygax?
I'm afraid she's over there. I found her like that when I entered, on my word.
What? She was our biggest lead.
Yet another wrinkle in our investigation. What do we do now, Holmes?
Hush. Let me think. Heidi, how did it end up here? The patients here wear the same robes. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death.
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next.
I had nothing to do with this, Holmes. I swear.
We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste. There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numb beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits, what dangers lurk in the darkness.
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. Kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale.
Of course.
Thank you, John.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World heat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why didn't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage! Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
Is this familiar to you?
Oh, I know this. Yeah, let me help you.
Can I ask you a question?
It isn't possible for me to help you. I'm sorry.
Ah, not an auspicious start, is it? Never mind. I'll handle it. You go on ahead.
It's fine, it's fine. I'll just put everything back. Where are the socks?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm so sorry. I can't be of help.
Are you able to help me?
That's not something I know, sir. Someone else might know more.
Where you at, gentlemen? Here to enjoy yourselves?
Is this familiar to you?
Sounds familiar, but no. Ask someone else.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't help you.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't help you.
Got a spot in mind?
Actually, I'm not sure yet. Are you able to help me?
It isn't possible for me to help you. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, just one question.
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
Do you know anything about this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Is this familiar to you?
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
In the flesh. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, hold up. Written invitation first.
Can I present another piece of identification?
Nope. That's why we send the invitation.
Holmes, over here. Any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And do you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type. Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself. Excuse me, just one question.
Oh, I've had talk.
This place, there's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn. And for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice way. Can I ask you a question?
No, first I've heard of it.
Could you help me?
Sorry, mister. Can't help you. Ask someone else.
Look, Watson. What have we here? A local crime star.
A star? You have a strange way with words. Frankly, we have more pressing matters.
I'm not going after these troublemakers, but the posters will add nicely to my collection of criminal profiles. I read a study that suggests facial features can determine a person's tendency towards cruelty or deviant behavior.
Well, you can't stop progress.
May I ask you something?
What makes you think I can be of any help?
America, Holmes. I never thought I should be so lucky as to visit.
Help me, please.
Doesn't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Don't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
Locked. No one's here. Locked. No one's here. Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn. He at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
You look great, Watson. The guard has myopia, you'll walk right through. It's all about confidence. Stride up like you own the place. You go in there, and tonight's supper is on me. All the seafood you can eat.
May I ask you something?
Doesn't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir. Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have them.
Could you help me?
You better ask someone else about that.
Are you able to help me?
You better ask someone else about that.
May I ask for your assistance?
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with another client's request. Please wait a moment.
This might be useful. I'll make a note.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind. Forgive my curiosity, but who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
It doesn't say where these stones came from. No provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
Sorry, Sheriff, but I don't have time for this.
Now, Frank, when I'm talking to you, everything else waits. If I want to talk, you talk. If I say jump, you say off which pier. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right. I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
Don't want to be rude, but even the man upstairs can smell you.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah. All that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed.
No. No! Was that your luggage again? I don't understand. We just got it back in order.
A pox on the crew. A pox on the crew. A pox on the crew. Do you know anything about this?
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
Are you able to help me?
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't help you.
How am I gonna fish him out? Anyone got a net?
You know, I think the look actually compliments you. Why bother changing it?
Can I ask you a question?
Sounds familiar, but no. Ask someone else.
A pox on the crew. Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the Nymph.
Always a pleasure to see you regular, Mr. Barnaby. Welcome home. Perhaps you'd like someone new today, Frank. How about Miss Trixie or Joni?
Help me, please.
No, I've never heard of it, but I can help you with something else.
Excuse me, just one question.
No, honey, I've heard nothing.
May I ask you something?
No, honey, I've heard nothing.
May I ask for your assistance?
No, honey, I've heard nothing.
Can I ask you a question?
No, I've never heard of it. But I can help you with something else.
Well, look at you. All dressed up with nowhere to go.
I can't thank you enough. As I was saying, our journey has hardly gone to plan. We seem no closer to finding our missing people than when we left.
Well, if there were anything to know, Champagne'll know it. She's across everything in New Orleans. Look for her in the fisherman's village behind the Creole Quarter.
Thank you again, Lucy. I shall make my way there now.
Good luck, Johnny. Keep out of trouble. I knew the clothes would fit, but I didn't know how well they'd suit.
Excuse me, just one question.
No, honey, I've heard nothing.
Frank, darling, I'm flattered, but you know I'm out of the game.
Ah, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through? I feel much better in this suit, even if it is not mine. Lucy told me to find champagne and avoid the sheriff. She has been truly generous.
Help me, please.
I'm bone-tied, but yeah, I'll help you.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Are you all right, sir?
It'll come again. I will die.
What happened?
The lower of death came to me last night. I know it will come again.
Let's start from the beginning. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Could you describe last night's events for me?
I'm Cole Seabrook. It was Maman Brigitte. She came to me in the shape of a giant black rooster. Before that, some hit the wall outside. Then she came in. She took my will and she led me to the water.
Perhaps you were dreaming?
I wish I was. The Great Gator was there. It called me and I couldn't resist, but then the spell broke and I managed to crawl ashore.
Interesting.
I know how it sounds to an outsider, but it was the lower of death and it ain't finished with me.
You mentioned a lower. What is that exactly?
You outsiders only know one God. But there are many and we call them lowers. And Maman Brigitte is one of them. She's the lower of death and life. She heals the righteous and punishes the guilty.
Did you feel anything apart from fear last night?
Yeah. The signs of Maman's presence, no doubt about it. Everything became blurry and my mouth was dry and the light became very bright.
That is something.
Oh, no two ways about it.